Hello guys, it's Everything Tutorials here. I haven't made a tutorial for quite some time, and I wanted to revisit Blender because I've no idea, but I got 16k views on it or something, and I see quite a lot of the comments are, oh, this didn't work, and this you didn't explain this well enough, and like examples. I'll probably put examples on the screen, but this is in 2013, and I haven't visited this software since 2013. I actually haven't used it since I've gone on to bigger, better things than Blender, which is a free open source tutorial or open source software that anyone can download for free. So I decided to revisit it just to see if anything's changed, and absolutely nothing has changed. So my tutorial still should be valid. Maybe I didn't explain things as well as I did back then, but I'm here to fix all of that, hopefully, and hopefully fix all the questions that you may have asked. Okay, so in Blender, if you don't know what it is, it's a 3D modeling tool. It's very easy to make YouTube tutorials, or not, YouTube openings with, because it is such a simple modeling and whatever. So yeah, so this is what will happen when you first open it. So this is the default screen. Okay, so first thing I'm going to explain this object here. By the way, to select things, you right click them. So right click, not left click, right click. So this is the camera. It sort of looks like I don't know how to describe that. Sort of like a triangle on its side. Yeah. Okay. This is the light. So this is the world light. So this will drop light down onto your objects and give it shadows if there's a plane. And this is the default box that starts. This is your workspace pretty much. I think you can extend that, but there's no point in doing it for this tutorial. If you want to make really good in-depth, spectacular, amazing openings, this isn't really the tutorial for you. This is very simple, basic. It's just to give a basic tutorial on how to make simple intro. So first thing you want to do is delete that object. The way I did that is just select the object by right clicking, pressing the delete key on your keyboard, and then pressing it again, and I will delete it. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is probably add a plane. You don't have to, but it sort of looks better for the lighting. But so I'll do that now. So the way you do that is press spacebar and you type in add space and plane, hit enter, and this will create a little plane for you. Now to resize this, you go over here, go to the object. Oops. I can't remember how to do this myself. I think it's scale. Yep. And you can increase the scale just to fit this area. So that's a good fit for this area. Next thing you want to do, on your keypad, this is all done with numpad. All Blender stuff is done with numpad. So if you don't have a numpad, you might want to go to the options, try and rebind some stuff. I'm not going to explain that today because I have a numpad already. Macs might not have numpads, for example, but you can get extensions, that kind of thing. So the next thing you're going to do is press 1 on the numpad. So 1 on the numpad, that will bring you down to the flat view of your plane. Then you're going to press Control, so CTRL on your keyboard, Alt, ALT, and 0 on the numpad, so 0 on the numpad, and that will bring your camera down here. Okay, so if I press 0 on the numpad again and hold middle mouse button, that's how you move. Sorry, I should have explained that was bad. And you'll see the camera is now centered to here. Okay, so it's centered to our plane. I'm going to move that down a bit so you can see the grids. It's centered where this grid is. Okay, the next thing you want to do is add some text, because you're going to need some text for YouTube, right? So you're going to say your channel name. For this one, I'm just going to do tutorial. So you press space, add space text, enter. Okay, this is where it doesn't get complicated, but okay. So to make your text stand upright, you press R and then X, and that will stick it to that grid. Yeah, you can only move it along the y-axis and not the x. So there we go. If I just that's straight-ish. So R, X, that's even straighter. And you scroll away, scroll down, zoom out, scroll up, scroll in, or zoom in. Okay, so we want to give us a bit of a depth. I'm gonna move the light backwards, just so that there's a shadow shining on it, on the good old text there. Okay, so for this text, remember right click to select the objects. I want to give it, I'm gonna call it YouTube. So to edit the text, you press tab. So tab on your keyboard, and that will allow you to edit the text. Okay, so we want to give this a bit of depth. So if you see over here, this is all your styles and stuff. We can click this F button. Just click this. Then, if you want to give it a bit of depth, you don't actually use the depth because that's for something completely different. Use the extrude modification. So that will sort of bulk out your image. If you do it too much, it'll end up like this. But if you just do it just enough, I think it looks nice. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, so now you want to give it a bit of color. This is very simple. Remember, this is not going into depth, changing the styles of everything, because that can be quite hard. It can involve bringing in other packages, examples, Microsoft Word, that kind of thing. Okay, so let's change the color. So if you want to go to this little ball over here, that's a texture icon. You then click New. Okay, this will give your text a texture. Now to change the color, you click here, click the white part, and you can change the color. I'm gonna do a nice light bluish sort of color, and we can get that to mid light, for example. But you don't have to. You can do all these cool things. You can fiddle around with these things, these settings, but it doesn't really matter. I'm gonna move this up a bit. Okay. So next, what we're going to do is animate. Now you can be all fancy and add more text and have the camera zoom to different text, but we won't do that for today. Yeah. Okay, so to animate text, for example, we can have a slow zoom out. So Control, Alt, and 0 on the numpad. Put the camera here. You select the camera. Hold on. Let's get out of that by pressing numpad 0 again. You select the camera by right clicking. Zoom in again. And then we're going to go down here. So this is your frames. These are all frames. A frame is it's hard to explain. It's a frame of animation. So a picture can be a frame. And if you have loads of pictures that have a moving you have if you have, say, a little animation, if you draw in paint someone's hand moving, if you have loads of those pictures with a really smooth hand with loads of frames of pictures, it will look a lot better than if it was just stutters. This is our frame. So down here we want to click object. So we want to go to the start, so it's at 0. Click object. We go to animation, insert keyframe, and then lock rot, that's location rotation. We're going to click that. Okay, and this creates a keyframe along our timeline. So we can go to 70, click 70, it doesn't matter what you do. And then we're going to change the camera at 70. So we're going to press numpad 0 again. Let's zoom out. We're going to get our camera to come over here and get a nice shot over here. So we're going to Control, Alt, 0 on the numpad. Oops, that doesn't look very good though. Give me a minute. Let's move that over slightly. See how that looks? Yeah, that's okay. Okay. Then, now, we're going to add another object. animation, insert keyframe, lock rot. Okay, and this is what our animation looks like. So if we were going to camera view, and then we press play down here, you can see it zooms out, it shows YouTube. And we can set the end keyframe to be 80. So to do that, we do frame and then set end frame. Okay, so let's watch that animation again. Okay, so you can't actually use this little animation here for YouTube yet. Okay, so I made a mistake there. Okay, so first of all, once you get to this render stage, you want to click the camera, you want to go here, you want to check your resolution. Mine is 1920 by 1080 because of my monitor size, because it's a 1080p monitor. Yours could be different, it just depends. My frame rate, I just set it to 30 FPS so it looked a bit smoother. And now the output, I put it to my desktop, so for the output you just click output, and then you can click desktop or documents or wherever you want to save it, and then click accept. Now down here it says PNG. Now what this will do is whenever you render it, it will render in loads of different pictures, like frame by frame. So the animation will be there, but it won't be very good because it's not an actual video file. So what I would do is go over here, change it to AVI raw, and then render this out. So now I click render animation. Now this will change it into like a little video for you to then render out in your rendering application. It could be Windows Movie Maker, or it could be Sony Vegas like I use, or it could be anything else. Just depends. And I will show you an example of this when this is done. Okay, now that my rendering is done, and now look at my desktop, there's an AVI file. If I open up the AVI file, choose my animation in very bad quality because I'm recording. Okay, so that's not a very good, it's not rendered out, it's not crisp quality. So what I'm going to do now is open my rendering application. I'll show you how to make it look really good. Okay, so I'll see you in a second. Okay, so now that I have my rendering application open, I use Vegas Pro. You could use Windows Movie Maker if you don't have Vegas Pro, because Vegas Pro can be quite an expensive software to get. Okay, so I just dropped my animation into my rendering software. It shows up here for me, so I'll give a little preview there. So there we go. Okay, now I want to click render as. It is the same with Windows Movie Maker. If you click the render, and I'm gonna call mine animation. Oops. Animation, and I'm gonna render it in 1080p. I'll make a tutorial of Sony Vegas if you guys want, so just leave a comment down there if you really want one, and I'll go ahead and do that for you. There we go. Now my rendering application is rendering out each frame in 1080p to make it look really good and really crisp, as you can see over there. It looks a lot nicer than how it did before, and I'll also open in 1080p. So here we go, I'm at 83%, 90, and we are done. Just processing lost frames, I'm sure, or finalizing it. Okay, I'm ready to open. So if I just click open, and that's in full 1080p, ready for YouTube ready, and there we go. So thanks guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If there's anything I missed, feel free to leave a comment down below and I'll answer any questions. Hopefully this is an improvement for the last video. If there's anything you didn't understand or you need me to answer anything, any problems you have, can try and troubleshoot it, but I'm not a genius. I won't be able to fix everything. I'm new to Blender just as you are. Well, I maybe have a bit more experience. Software like Sony Vegas I know a lot about, so if anything, any advice you need on that, any tips, tutorials, just give me a shout. I'll give you a hand. Photoshop also, I'm okay at it. I can give you a hand on that. I'm good at setting up servers, web servers, Raspberry Pi stuff, anything. Just leave a comment on what you'd like to see next. And thanks for watching, guys.